experience a lack of interest from different departments to manage risks? And if you combine that with the disparate systems and tracking, it is a recipe for risk realization. Don't let that happen. Protect what matters. With Pirani, you will be able to create serious resilience in the risk management of your company and easily involve all areas in the identification, documentation, and management of your risks. Lots of companies already use Pirani to become stronger and more resilient. Pirani is the software that will turn your risk management from sheer compliance to active mitigation and reduction. The system and plans will be able to be catered to your unique needs. Enjoy managing risk and no billing for 15 days. What are you waiting for? Select the right plan for your business. Pirani, we make risk management simple. Do you experience a lack of interest from different departments to manage risks? And if you combine that with the disparate systems and tracking, information is increasingly exposed and vulnerable in a more technological and globalized world. Regardless of the sector or size of your company, you have information about customers, employees, suppliers, and processes that you must protect. Information is the most critical asset of any company. You must guarantee its confidentiality, integrity, and availability by managing all the risks associated with your processes and information assets to avoid bad practices, leaks, or attacks, such as kidnapping or data theft. With Pirani's Information Security Risk Management System, you will be able to comply with the ISO 27001 standard and quickly identify and manage processes, information assets, risks, and controls, document incidents, as well as generate action plans, view graphical reports of all your management, define indicators, and perform evaluations. What are you waiting for? Choose the best plan for your business and start managing your information security risks with the easiest to use software on the market. Hey, the first 15 days are free. Pirani, we make risk management simple. Managing compliance with regulations can be daunting because it requires us to implement, follow up, and verify compliance with internal and external rules while involving other areas. That is why Pirani is the ideal tool for your company. Through Pirani, you can centralize your compliance management by creating regulations and adding the necessary clauses for effective implementation. You can designate a compliance officer to ensure proper follow-up. In addition, Pirani's Events module allows members of your organization to report any materialization of risks from any device. You can download customized reports in PDF, PNG, or Excel with just a few clicks. As you can see, compliance management becomes simple with Pirani. Choose the best plan for your company and obtain better results by using the easiest tool. We offer you 15 days to try out Pirani and see for yourself how easy it is to use. What are you waiting for? Pirani, we make risk management simple. In an increasingly demanding business world, organizations must stay one step ahead by optimizing their audit processes, saving valuable time, and reducing the operational burden on their teams. With Pirani, you can carry out rigorous internal audits by controlling and monitoring your organization's internal norms, standards, and regulations. Easily schedule and assign audits by setting deadlines, delegating to the audit team, and defining the objectives and scope of each audit. Build customized checklists to define evaluation criteria, establish questions, and add relevant comments for each process you want to audit. Attach files directly, facilitating collecting evidence, accessing, and reviewing information during audits. Additionally, establish remediation and improvement plans for identified findings. This way, you will contribute to the continuous improvement of your organization. Choose the best plan for your company and optimize your audits with the easiest to use tool. What are you waiting for? Try Pirani for 15 days. Pirani, we make risk management simple.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our risk management school. My name is Stephanie Orrego, and I'm a member of the Pirani team. I'm excited to be here with you today to explore the theoretical and practical aspects of the different topics that we will share. To help us go into the session, we're happy to have Alejandro Orrego, who's our CEO at Pirani. Hi, Alejo. It's great to have you here. How are you?
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me again to the Risk Management School.
Of course. Well, before we begin, I want to invite everybody to continue learning about risk management by visiting the Pirani Academy, where you'll find valuable learning materials. So I'll go ahead and leave the link in the chat so you guys can see the website. So give me 2 seconds and paste this here. I can't. Okay. Cool. And then finally, if you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to ask them through the questions and answers in the section here, and we'll be happy to answer you at the end of the webinar. So now let's go ahead and begin this topic. Over to you, Alejandro.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. And again, thank you everyone for joining this Risk Management School. And today we're gonna talk about risk management culture. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about, and I think, of course, I lead a risk management software company, but a company can have the best software in the market, but if they don't have a risk management culture, unfortunately, they really won't achieve any goal of the company. So I really want to talk about this topic. So thank you for inviting me to talk about this in this session, this class. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about what is culture in general terms, the ABC model, corporate culture, risk culture, what is not risk management culture, how to design on a strong risk culture, the IRM risk culture aspect model. We're gonna see signs of good risk management culture and the 3 lines of defense that is a good tip to achieve that. So before start, I'm gonna tell you that, of course, we're gonna share some information about the risk management culture based on my experience, but also I take notes of a big reference for me in this specific matter. The first is the IRM reports from the Institute for Risk Management. They launched these 2 reports on 2012, like more than 10 years ago, but I really think they are still very relevant. I'm going to put in the link in the chat because these 2 reports are completely free to download, and I really recommend you because they have really good information. I'm also want to share the knowledge that I have learned from Mr. David Hilson. He has a YouTube channel, is the Risk Doctor, and also a website. He's a huge reference for me as well. So I'm going to use some of the information that he shared in his channel and on his website. And also from Jonathan Chino. Jonathan Chino is an enterprise risk management consultant. He works from one of our clients in Latin America, Liberty Mutual, and he also shared his knowledge in the Pirani Summit last year. And he also shared his knowledge in a podcast from us in Spanish. And I really think he's a very good speaker, and he has a lot of knowledge about this topic, and also have learned a lot from him. So I want to thank these 3 references, and I want to let you know that I'm going to use the knowledge that I also have learned from them, right? So to begin, what is culture? Because if we're going to speak about risk management culture, it is good to start from what is culture from the beginning. So I have 4 definitions, and I want to know what definition is better, or what definition you like the most. You can put it in the chat, 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat. The first one from Geert Hofstede, I don't know if I'm pronounced correctly, the collective programming of the mind which distinguishes the member of one group from another. The second, a pattern of shared basic assumptions that the group learned that has worked well enough to be considered valid, passed on to new members as the correct way to perceive, think, and feel. Third, the set of important understanding, often stated, that members of a community share in common. And four, this is one of my favorite, what happened when the boss leaves the room? What definition do you think it fits the most from you? Okay, Petilia says number 3, very good. And in the IRM report, and where Mr. David Pilson's combines the 4 definitions in one simple for all of us, and I think it's very good, is the values, beliefs, knowledge, and understanding shared by a group of people with a common purpose. That is culture. And again, that definition applies to, I don't know, a country culture or a group of people that, or ethnics, or within a specific city, or within a specific enterprise, right? So this is definition of what we can say is culture. So where does culture come from? And this is the ABC model that I want to share with you also, that came from the IRM report. The ABC model talk about the first, the C is from culture, and the B is from behavior. And it says that behavior forms culture. And the A is from attitude, and attitude shapes behavior. And then culture influences attitude and behavior. And this is very, very good a way for example what culture means, because another thing that says that is only behavior is visible, but the attitude is the way we face things, and behavior is the way we act, and that forms the culture. So I really, really like this ABC model and diagram. Again, attitude, behavior, and culture. And we also want to talk about corporate culture, because before we are talking just about culture in general, but we need to talk about corporate culture, how we can understand the culture of a company, of an enterprise, because maybe, I don't know, all of you are working for companies, or so how can we translate these concepts of culture to the company? So if we need to transfer that, is corporate culture refers to the shared values, beliefs, behaviors, and norms that characterize the internal environmental of an organization. It encompasses the company's mission, expectations, and the way employees interact with each other and with stakeholders outside the organization. Corporate culture can influence how employees perceive their roles, how decisions are made, and how the organization responds to challenges and opportunities. So again, we see the concepts of values, beliefs, behaviors, and the way the decisions and attitude to a situations, and the results in line with company expectations. So it's also very important to understand what, if the company, I mean, every company has a culture, even if they have it even if they don't have in a presentation or a posters, or even if they don't have declared the culture in something in the website. Every company has a culture. Some of the companies declare the culture that they want to have, and you can have a risk management culture if it's not immersed in the corporate culture. And this is something that we also want to share, because maybe you declare a corporate culture, your values, your mission, your vision, or your purpose, or whatever framework you're using for your corporate culture. But if your corporate culture doesn't talk about risk, maybe you don't have a risk culture at all. Or you can say that you have a risk management culture, but it's not in the corporate culture at all. So if your corporate culture talk about agile or innovation and risk, maybe you have a risk management culture, and that's the good way to start. So risk culture is a specific culture within the corporate culture. It is the way we decide and act in the face of the risk our company faces. So what is risk management culture? If we define the culture in general, if we define a corporate culture, so in this another layer, we can say refers to values, beliefs, knowledge, attitudes, and understanding about risk shared by a group within an organization. It influences the decisions and behaviors of individuals and teams when addressing risk. A strong risk management culture promotes an environment where every employee understands the importance of risk management and plays an active role in identifying, communicating, and addressing risks to achieve the organization's objectives. It encourages open communication about risks, lessons learned from past experiences, and continuous improvement in risk management practices. So that's the way we go from the general definition of culture, corporate culture, and risk management culture. As you can see, you share a lot of stuff like values, beliefs, knowledge, but also every employee understands the importance of risk management. Communication is key. So let's gonna check. Based on this definition, what is not risk management culture? Because when we talk with some of our clients or partners or consultants or whatever, oh, how is your risk management culture is doing in your company? So, oh, it's great. I just hire a company to have a training. So what is not risk management culture? It's not training, or it's not guides, or it's not procedures, or it's not game activities. It's not encouraging messages of risk. These elements are parts of, are tactics of risk management culture, but it's not risk management culture. Here, I think Thurman put a comment in the chat. So this means those at corporate in McDonald's has the same mentality about risk as a cashier. Well, I don't know, it's the same, but I mean, they need to share the same values and aspects of what they're gonna do about risk. So it's definitely, maybe it's not the same actions on an everyday basis, but they need to share the same values, beliefs, and knowledge, definitely. So because if you say that your company want to make risks, I mean, what kind or what is your risk appetite? So we're gonna talk about this in a moment, but yeah, definitely you can ask for a cashier something different, as a different value that you asking for the VP or something in the higher hierarchy. So based on that question, let me go with how to design a strong risk culture. So designing a strong risk culture requires a comprehensive approach that integrates risk awareness, understanding, and management into every fabric of the organization. So the first tip or the first step will be top-down commitment. Leadership must demonstrate a commitment to risk management. This commitment will set the tone for the rest of the organization. Leaders should actively communicate the importance of risk management and embed it into strategic decisions. And that applies to culture and corporate culture. You can say, okay, we need to have risk culture and a risk of mitigating risks or facing risks or whatever is your concept of risk. But the concept of the CEO is different from the the operators. You should share as a leader what is your vision, what is your definition of risk, and what's the risk approach that you want to give to the company. So that, because maybe you are the risk manager of the company and you have a strong vision of what the risk, what risk should company take. But if the CEO or if the board didn't believe in that, you're gonna have a very bad time trying to have a risk management culture. So the leadership is very important. They put the tone on the risk management culture. Second, clear risk appetite. Define and communicate the organization risk appetite, which is the level of risk the organization is willing to accept in pursuit of its objectives. This provides a guideline for decision making at all levels. This risk appetite changes from one company to another, or even from one area to another. I mean, there are specific aspects like anti-money laundering. You don't have an appetite in anti-money laundering. You can accept that risk, right? But in operational risk management, you can accept a specific risk. You can go after some specific challenges, and this is very important. Is your company willing to face risk? What are the risks that you are willing to accept and to run? Because a company that didn't take risks is a company that actually don't grow. So what is the risk appetite that your company has? You as the leader had clear appetite, and you share this appetite with the organization in every area or team. 3, integrate risks into decision making. Risk consideration should be part of everyday decision making, not just a separate activity or checklist. This integration ensures that risk is naturally factored into decisions, projects, and processes. Are you asking your team, what risks are you taking this week? Or what risks are you going to mitigate next week? Are you talking about this, or you never talk about risks at all in your company? That will be a main question to ask. Next, continuous education and training. Of course, this is important. When I say risk management culture is not just about a training that you have 1 hour in a year. It's better to have one training that don't have training at all, but it's just a part of, okay? So you should educate your team, regularly train employees on risk management concepts, tools, techniques. Even if you're doing just for regulatory, the regulatory change every year in some countries, or even if you're doing for growth or to thrive, give your team members, give your employees the tools and the knowledge that they have, that they need to improve this risk management culture. 5, open communication. Again, you should foster an environment where employees feel safe to communicate risks, concerns, and potential issues without fears or retribution. Feedback mechanisms such as suggestion boxes or anonymous reporting tools can be helpful. 6, define roles and responsibilities. We're going to see this in a while, but the 3 lines to defense is very good. Or what for in the last topic that we talked about it, what is the role in risk management from the cashier in McDonald's, for instance? How can you manage some risk? How can you deal if someone is violent in the store? They have the knowledge, they have they know what behavior we expect from them, or we're not. Cashier might know what time to lock the doors so they can clean. Yeah. 7, reward and recognition. Recognize and reward those who actively participate in risk management, whether by identifying potential risks, suggesting mitigations, or improving the risk management process. Is like, I mean, we are like, I'm sorry to say this, but we're like animals. So we need recognition, we need reward. When we're doing something right, it's good that somebody telling us that we do something good in order that we keep doing that good. So it seems obvious, but some of companies never do this. So reward and recognition. And last, no, this is not the last, it's actually 13 tips. 8, regular risk assessments. Some companies, some clients of ours do the risk assessment at first, once in a lifetime. That is not good at all, because risk changes. So conduct routine risk assessment to identify, evaluate, and prioritize risks. These proactive approaches help ensure that organization is always prepared and aware of potential challenges. 9, feedback loops. Create mechanisms to learn from both successful risk management and instances where risks weren't effectively managed. Both incident reviews or lessons learned sessions can provide valuable insights. We learn not by reading some slide. We learn by speaking about it, we're talking about it, and what we learn, what we fail, and what we learn from the failure. That is very, very important in a culture, whatever it is the name. 10, adaptability. As the external and internal environment change, so will the risk. Ensure that the risk culture is flexible enough to adapt to new challenges, tools, and methodologies. Again, the world is changing every day, every month. So the thing or the risk that we declared 2 years ago maybe is not relevant today, or maybe we need to update it. So we need to work on that. And 11, tools and resources. I mean, it seems obvious, but invest in tools and resources that can aid in identifying, assessing, and managing risk. This could include software, external consultant, or other specialized resources. You cannot tell that you have a strong risk management culture if you don't invest in anything for that. If you don't invest in an appropriate tool like a software. If you're doing lose risk management culture in the spreadsheets just or in boards in your company, so okay, where is the commented, where is centralized where do you centralize the information? You need to invest. And now, yes, finally, last but not least, 12, monitoring and reporting. We learned this about in the first classes of this risk management school in English about, okay, you need to monitor and report regularly on risk management efforts. This helps in maintaining oversight, ensuring accountability, and continuously refining the risk management approach. And 13, stakeholder engagement. Engage with both internal and external stakeholders to get a comprehensive view of risks. External parties can offer unique perspective on risks that internal parties might not see. We saw that in the assessment of the third-party consultant to assess the risks and controls. That's very important. And remember, creating a strong risk culture is not a one-time activity. It requires continuous effort, refinement, and commitment. So I also want to share with you with the another framework from the IRM risk culture aspect. So they say that they are 4 main aspects, each with 2 elements. So this is like a resume or a more simple way to understand the 13 that I just gave you. So 1, tone at the top, risk leadership, clarity of decisions, how organization responds to bad news. 2, governance, clear accountability for managing risks, transparency, and timelines of risk information. 3, decision making, well-informed risk decisions, and appropriate risk-taking rewarded and performance management linked to risk taking. And 4, competency, status, resourcing, and empowerment of risk function and risk skills, the embedding of risk management skill across the organization. The diagram looks something like this. Turn at the top, risk leadership, dealing with bad news. How are your company dealing with bad news? What do you do? That will be a main question to ask. What is the governance? What is the accountability, the transparency? You share the information. You take informed risk decisions. You reward what your team are doing. And what are the skills and resources that you have? So I really like this diagram. Again, this is from the IRM report. So I think this is also very helpful. So my personal approach and simple thing is a specific tool. What is the sign that you are a very good risk management culture to start with? Do you have any specific tool? Do you have the resources to do that? Everyone in your company have access to that tool and to that risk management resources. A very interesting, and I think my favorite indicator or metric of a risk management culture is, what are the events report of your company? Everyone in your company is making events report. It is available for everyone in the company, or is just 1 or 2 people? How many reports do you have? So, and some of the clients say, oh, no. If we have a lot of reports, is that if we're doing bad. And it's not necessarily, because I think events always happen. The main question is, do you report those events and you learn from those reports? Because if you don't report the events that are happening, maybe you don't give yourself the opportunity to talk about it, to learn what failed or to learn what works. So this is very important. How many events do your company reports? And do you have roles and responsibilities? Do you understand the 3 lines of defense? And in this specific framework, the risk area is a police officer that is saying no to everything in the company, or they are a partner that helps the operation line to go to achieve the goals. And one of the most important, again, communication. Talk about it. Do you have a risk committee? Do you have a meeting to talk about what are you learning, or what are the things that you learn about the risks? What risks did you take? What risks did you mitigate? What controls were best or failed? And I don't know if everyone in the attendees knows the concept of the 3 lines of defense. You can put it in the chat if you heard about it or not. So the 3 lines of defense is also a very interesting framework that understand that the risk management is not just a responsibility from the risk and compliance area. You know, the first line of defense is the operation areas. The area that knows, I mean, human resources knows better the risks of human resources process than a risk and compliance area. So the first line of defense will be the operation, the sales team, the marketing, the technology, the human resources, the administration. They need to be aware of risks. They need to be aware of the concepts, of the definitions. And then the second line of defense will be the risks and compliance areas that help the operation area, the first line of defense, to understand, okay, maybe, okay, you have the specific knowledge of your area or of your team, but have you seen this different approach, or what do you think about this experiment of this area? So the risks and compliance area or team should be a partner. Should make questions. It's like the therapist of the first line of defense. And then we have the third lines of defense, that is the internal audit, that is more independent and to definitely see what's going on after the first 2 lines talk and define. So do you have these specific 3 lines of defense? Because as the name says, is the first line of defense fails or missed something, will be the second line to support, and then will be the third line. So in this, we are very shield about risk management. So there is a question in the chat: how often do we need to do risk management? That's a very good question, and the answer is every time. Because I don't know, what is for you risk management? So maybe, okay, we can declare what are the risks of the company, or what are the processes and what are the controls, maybe once at the beginning of the year. So, but the management is, okay, do we have events reported? And do you have events reported every day or every week? And do you manage the event report? So, how often do you rescore the rating of the risks or the strength of the control? So this is something that you need to do. Let me go back. Continuous effort, refinement, and commitment. We need to a continuous improvement of the risk management. Do you have the first definitions, but then you need to work on that every time? I mean, you're not gonna be re-rate or reassess a risk every day. Of course, you should not. But if the environment of the context changes, you need to act accordingly. So maybe it will be good to go to the practice part of the risk management school in order to have this a little bit more clear. But just to close about the risk culture thing, is a powerful risk culture does not mean eliminating or reducing all the risk. It's not about, okay, no, I have a strong culture because not event is reported in the last year. I don't know if that's a very strong risk culture, because again, risk cannot be eliminated. You cannot eliminate all the risks that you can face. A risk management culture is not about eliminating all those risks. It is necessary to take risks if we want to achieve profitability or growth or thrive or whatever. Risk culture accepts mistakes as long as they are used as learning tools. So the key is to manage risk, to find the balance between taking risks and controlling them. So a risk culture is when we give yourself the opportunity to talk about this with the first line of defense, with the operating people, with the every leader in the company. What are the risks that you are taking? What are the risks that you're going to mitigate this week? What risks you're going to avoid? What controls are working? What risks do we take and we fail? And what we learn from that? That is a risk management culture. So let's go to see how we can translate this into a specific tool, because remember, one of the tips was tools and resources. Invest in tools and resources that can help you with this, because again, these 13 tips are very useful, but okay, how can we start? Or I mean, again, this framework is very helpful as well, but how can we start? Yeah, definitely. Alberto says the risk culture is the umbrella of the risk management completely. That's a very, very good approach, Alberto. Thank you very much. So we're gonna see how we can translate this into a specific tool. So we're gonna interact with Pirani. Remember that Pirani is right now the global leader in operational risk management. We have a lot of badges that say so, like easy to use, the usability or whatever. So so is this a comment from Thurman. If it isn't obvious, I'm loving this. Had no idea about risk culture, and it also makes a lot of sense. So thank you, Thurman, for that comment. Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, my position. I am the CEO of a risk management software company. And my purpose, my personal purpose that it translates to my company is, again, I always say this to my team. A company can have the Lamborghini of risk management software. The best, and I was talking about best software, but these badges means nothing in a software that you buys if your company don't have risk management culture, unfortunately. So I can have the easiest to use software, the best infrastructure, and we can have multiple clients globally. But if those clients don't have a risk management culture, they won't be successful in doing risk management. And that's why in Pirani, we made the risk management school. We have a lot of efforts, the podcasts, the blog posts, the webinars, the ebooks, the risk management study, because it's not enough, the software. We need to help companies to understand the best practices, concepts. And this is another aspect that I don't put this specific in this. Sometimes we want to train the cashier in McDonald's or the marketing people with specific concepts of risk management that are too technical. And they say, oh my God, this is so boring. I don't want to do that. So we need in those education and learning and on training aspects, we need to talk their language. We need to talk as they talk. We need to speak in simple concepts with simple examples, or examples that resonate with their day-to-day. for instance, we have a webinar next week that with Mike Clayton, that is also a person that I admire a lot, about the first steps on risk management. So you need to translate those concepts, very technical concepts, into their everyone language and everyone concepts. So now we need to go to the to the to the to the software in order to try to understand how we can take advantage of a tool or the resources to improve the risk management culture. So one of the another thing that I want to put in the software to improve the risk management culture is, you know, that most of the software charge per user. Okay, if you're going to buy that software and you only have 2 users or 3 users and no more. So how do you want to achieve a strong risk management culture if you have to pay for every user that going to use your software of your platform? So if you're already using spreadsheets or Excel to do risk management, and then somebody telling you that you need to buy a software and you need to pay for every single person that use the software, how is you encouraging risk management culture in your company? So that's why in Pirani we say, okay, you know what? We have unlimited users for everyone in the company. You don't have to pay any dollar for any person that you want to invite to do anything in your company. So you can invite as many people as you want, as you need. You can invite all your company if you want to. You can invite your external consultant or your auditor in order that everybody can access to what is risk management. So we have another issue. So, okay, but I don't need that the cashier of McDonald's see or can edit the same information that the VP or the leader or the responsible of the process. So that's why you have responsible teams and system roles. So for instance, in Pirani, in this specific resource, and you can create, okay, I'm going to create the marketing team, or I'm going to create the customer success or the cashiers team, that they have a visibility that or something that is relevant for them, and they can see all the risks, but they cannot edit the risks, right? Or maybe I want that the human resources team have access to the human resources processes and risks, but I don't want that they have access, I don't know, the administrative or the VPs. So you can do that as well in Pirani, and also you can have different roles. So maybe I have operators, I have tests, I have people that only can read the information, but they cannot edit it or change the information. So this is a very useful thing for that. And I think this seems very obvious, but a lot of softwares or risk management tools are very, I'm sorry to say that, outdated or boring or like very technical, or I don't know, like from the 90s. So you need to, it's better if you want that everyone in the company try and understand what is going on with the risks. So it's very important that the platform, the interface is friendly and easy to use, because if you try to teach them technical concepts and then you trying to put those concepts in a very technical or difficult to use platform, they won't never use it. They say, no, I don't want to do that. So please ensure that you have a tool or a software that is easy to use, that, I don't know, have colors, that give them very clear information on what they're dealing with. What is the risk heat map, how it works, where is the risk of your company, what is the risk that are you mitigating, or what are the risks that you accept, And another aspect was I told you that, and a specific metric that I like the most in my clients and a lot of companies that I know is how many events do you have? How many events are you reporting on an everyday basis? Is because you don't have events at all, or is because you're not aware of the events that can happen to you? So, for instance, we have this events report that in this example, as you can see, we have more than 2,000 events. We are making easy for everyone to report the events that are actually happening. And is your software or is your tools are making easy for the people in your company to make those reports in an easy way? For instance, in Pirani, we can, because maybe, okay, we're saying, okay, everyone in the company should make a report. Maybe the cashier in McDonald's should make a report of some client get violent. So how they can make that report? They need to log into the software in the cache. What about if you have a mobile app to do the report? Only to make the report on the mobile devices. Okay, I am the cashier of McDonald's and I just have a violent client that, I don't know, broke a glass or tried to be violent with me, whatever. So why, if you have the possibility that they can make the report, this is an operational risk, and okay, this is the name of the report, violent client. Again, this is a report that he's making from the cell phone. Maybe they can take a picture of what happened. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of just what happened. This happened in this specific time. I realize, and that's it. This is just one form to make that report. And I'm gonna, oh, what did this say? Okay, cash of McDonald's and in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm gonna send the report and I want to report another event. So do you have this easy to report tool or resources? This is very important. Exactly. Thurman, they should be able to do it from their phone. Yeah, I mean, I show you that in Pirani, you can actually do that report from the phone because I'm sharing my screen from that. So look, that in the software, in real time, I'm gonna see, okay, the violent client report from the cashier or the operator. And do you have this zero friction to do these reports? So are you encouraging all or your collaborators or employees to do the reports? And most important, once you have the report, are you doing something with this? Because, okay, I had the violent client incident in a specific McDonald's. Okay, so there are what they prioritize. I want to assign this in for anyone in the team, and then I can track. Oh, okay. What is the losses? Okay, that person, I don't know, broke some, I don't know, some advertising, or broke or hurt one of the employees or something, and I can put, okay, I lost like $2,000. I can put an operating account and I can track the recovery. Okay, I have an insurance company that give me one of the pay me like $500 for this specific event. And now we have the information that we have losses for 2,000, recoveries for 500, and I can associate this specific event with, do you have the track of violence on the offices, or violence in the stores? Do you have track this risk? Oh, maybe I'm not. So maybe you're going to create the risk in your risk heat map, or maybe I'm going to associate a specific. I don't have this specific, or I don't know. Maybe this is impacting the employee well-being. I mean, what is the affectation of the cashier? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's product contamination. I don't know. I can associate as many risks I have, and I can associate this specific event with controls. What are the controls that I have to prevent that from happening, or to mitigate that from happening? Oh, I don't have any control. So you're going to create the control. What is the event is associated with what process of my company? So once you have the events report, easy for everyone, this is the main, again, this is very important to do risk management, and not just, I have 10 risks identified in my company. What's happening with those risks? What's happening? And then you have the reports, because, okay, maybe you're going to see the report of the company, because also the board and the, I don't know, the CEO want to know, okay, what are we winning with for doing risk management? Okay, let me show you. I have losses from almost $5 million because of the process of delivering food. So maybe we can see how we can improve the controls in this specific process to not lose this money, you know. Oh, okay, we have also losses from another risks or specific processes or risks, so you can manage and improve the controls, or at least to be aware of those risks that are happening to you. So, okay, let me check the chat again. They should be able to do it from the phone. Yeah. So event doesn't graduate to a risk, instead of risk get associated to events. It's both. It's in both ways. Maybe when you declare that, oh, what are the risks that are happening to my company? So again, this is the first step when you are identifying the context of your company. Okay, this is all the risks that I think that my company may face. But then the events are the materialization of those risks. So maybe when you have an event happening, you can associate easily with a risk in order to say, okay, this, and maybe, I don't know, let's make an example. Maybe, okay, human errors and negligence and maintenance. Maybe I declare that risk, the likelihood was likely. This is my first approach. When I declare that risk, this specific risk, I put this is likely. And then we're gonna see the events report. And we have a human error report every day. What do you think we should do with that information? You can put it in the chat. Initially, I say, okay, this specific risk is likely. But then I saw the event report, and every day we have a human error. So these events are giving me information exactly that I need to rescore and put that is almost certain or very likely. This is risk management. Risk management is not just declare something that can happen. It's monitor and report what's actually happening. Or maybe you have events report that are not associated with any risks. So what you have to do? Okay, maybe I never saw that risk. So I need to create that specific risk because I have events reported from that specific risk. So as again, there are companies that thinks that events report is bad. Oh no, my company is too bad because I have a lot of events report. No, it's very good because maybe before the report you have the events, but you never report it. But when you start to report those events, you start learning from those events and those reports. And you give yourself the opportunity to talk about it and to learn about it, to rescore the risks or to be aware of the losses of your company from a specific risk on a specific process of a specific event. So it would be good if you don't if you miss the class of events report. We have a specific class of report events, so it will be very helpful to see that the whole idea of events report. But this is basically what we have, and we also have action plans. Again, what are you learning? What are you trying to improve? You are rescore on a specific risk, or you want to improve the strain on a specific control. So in the software, you need to create action plans in order to mitigate that and have a very strong risk management culture. How are your indicators or key process indicators or key risk indicators are evolving? So this is basically what you can do in a software like Pirani in order to improve your risk management culture. So in order to be respectful for your time, I think I talk a lot. Is 9:40 is we have 2 minutes. So I don't know until this, do you have any questions to close? Stephanie.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Alejandro, for giving us that awesome explanation of risk management culture, and showing us how it's practical in the Pirani portal and the tool. So thank you so much for that. I hope everyone enjoyed watching Alejandro explain everything. And if you have any questions regarding any of the material that he went over today, or any questions about the portal as well. Sorry, I saw a question. Where is the event reporting class? I guess we will figure that out. Yeah.
Let me show you in real time. If you go to our website, you can go to Academy and Risk Management School. You can subscribe for the next classes. So for instance, in 2 weeks, we're gonna talk about how make a risk management matrix. But in the last part of you can saw all the previous risk management school. So we have the class 4 is how to register events for proper risk management. And this is also a very recommended risk management school, that is the class 5, that continuous improvement through action plans and assessment. So you can see all this information. And also we have a YouTube channel that you can also subscribe. You can subscribe for your YouTube channel. We have 2 YouTube channels. We have one in Spanish, but we also have a YouTube channel just for the English-speaking community. So you also have a lot of all the previous videos from we have short videos about specific things, but we also have the recording of the previous risk management school. So how to register events for proper risk management is also available on your English YouTube channel. So, okay. No, we don't have certifications for this because this is open content, and no, we don't have certifications. Yeah. Okay, so it's 1 hour already. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stephanie and Nicole in the backstage. And I hope let me just invite you for our next event. Again, I mean, you should be in this event with Mike Layton. I mean, this guy is amazing. He has a lot of knowledge. So next Tuesday, we're gonna have a first steps in risk management. So please, if you can, please join us in this event. And in 2 weeks, we have another class of risk management school with Ernesto about the risk management matrix. So I hope to see you there in either of these events. So thank you very much. Hope to
Thank
see you
you.
soon.